Assalamu alaikum. In today's Honey What's Cooking, we are making a Parsi dish. It's known as Parsi. The way it's written in English, it's Parsi Paalav. I've heard people call it Parsi Pulao, and I've heard Parsi chefs call it Parsi Biryani. Whatever name you call it, it's got some very unique ingredients which makes it very different. So I have half a kg of mutton. Parsi Paalav or Parsi Pulao is usually done in mutton. I've got half a kg of basmati rice, which I'm going to soak for about good 40 minutes. If you're using sela rice, you might want to soak it longer, 2 hours, 3 hours. I've got 2 chopped onions. I've got 2 pureed tomatoes. I've got dry spices, 2 teaspoons of cumin, a teaspoon and a half of red chilli powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric. I have what we call Dhansak masala. It is 2 teaspoons full. Dhansak masala is easily available in many grocery stores. If you don't have it, the simplest Dhansak masala would be grinding together coriander and cumin, 2 teaspoons of that. I've got 2 dry red Kashmiri chilies that I've made into a fine powder. If you want to soak them and make them in a paste, that's fine too. In one of the recipes that I saw for Parsi Paalav, the chef used chicken tikka masala, and that's what I'm using over here. I've got 2 teaspoons of chicken tikka masala. I've got a tablespoonful of ginger paste, a tablespoonful of garlic paste. I've got 2 tablespoons full of chopped green chilies, about 2 to 3 tablespoons full of chopped coriander, sliced and browned onions that I'm going to use at the garnish time. For the garnish, we are also going to use some milk that has been infused with saffron, and 2 potatoes that I've cut into pieces, and I've blanched them and I've fried them. If you want to use them raw, that's fine too. If you want to fully fry them, that's fine too. So this is pretty much what we are going to need to cook the Parsi biryani. We are going to serve it with sliced boiled eggs. So even before I start cooking, what I usually do with my dry spices, no matter what I'm making, I usually soak them in water to make a paste. I do not use dry spices directly on hot oil. So I'm going to do the same. Ingredient that I missed to mention is salt, the all-important salt. We're going to add salt when we are cooking the mutton, and then also when we are boiling the rice. So just a little bit of water to all the dry spices. So we have a mixture of all the dry spices. If anything at all, it helps to bring out all the nice flavors and aromas together. So I've got 2 cooking spoons of cooking oil that I've heated up in a cooking pot. I will start off with the onions, chopped onions. So the onions have just about sautéed in the oil. I will move on by adding the chopped green chilies and the ginger garlic paste at the same time. A few minutes of tossing the onions, ginger garlic and green chilies, and now I'm adding the paste of my dry spices. Give this a quick stir. A good mix, a good color, a good aroma, and now we are moving on by adding our tomatoes, the tomato puree. Give it a good mix, give it a few minutes till we start seeing the oil on the edges, and that's when we will add the meat. There's a nice sheen to the masala mix. I can see the oil appear on the edges, and that's when I add the meat. Give it a good toss. The meat has been frying for a few minutes. It is well combined. I can see oil on the sides. At this point of time, I will add salt, a teaspoon and a half, and you can do salt to your taste. I will add a cup of water in the same bowl in which I had done the dry spice mix, and let the meat cook till it's tender. I will give it good 30 to 40. I will let the meat cook for about good 30 to 40 minutes, checking at regular intervals. and adding a cup of water and whatever spice mix was left is now used. This now cooks for good 30 to 40 minutes. The meat has now been cooking for some good 15 minutes. Let's give it a check. Yes, all the excess moisture has reduced. The meat looks nice and cooked and droopy. And this is when I would add the potatoes. Remember, these were blanched and fried. In goes the chopped coriander. And we will just simmer it for a few minutes before turning off the heat. And I've already got a pot of hot water boiling. I will boil the rice in plain water, no added flavors. So our curry is ready, plain boiled rice just in salt water. And we are now going to layer the biryani or pulao, whatever you call it. I've greased the bottom of this pan with the oil from the curry, and I will start by adding a layer of the boiled rice. Top it off with a layer of the mutton and potatoes with the curry, of course. Topping it off with the remaining rice, adding a drizzle of oil, saffron soaked milk, finally some browned onions, and we are good for a dum. This is going to go on dum for a good 15-20 minutes. So the biryani has been on dum for about 20 minutes. Let's give it a quick check. Yeah, looks done. So dishing out the biryani, look at the beautiful steam coming out of the dum. Yes, this looks nice and done. Garnish.